Hello and welcome. I'm Yvonne Davis, and in this series, I'm talking about the mysteries of moon magic. So, in part one, I talked about how I learned about moon magic from the book titled Moon Magic by Dion Fortune. And then I talked a little bit about Dion Fortune. I plan to do a more extensive video on her if you're interested in her, because she was a really, really fascinating person in the early 20th century as an occultist and a hermetic alchemist. So I do plan to talk more about her in future videos. And I also talked about how to build an altar. So in this video, I'm going to go further to talk about astrological magic and timing your magic, okay? Because there is this concept of astrological magic, and it helps you to know when to time your rituals so that they can be super, super potent. It's a kind of astrology that we call electional astrology, meaning that we elect the time and day of any event. So, for an example, a magic ritual, and that makes it more powerful. And so this is also called astrological magic when you mix astrology with magic to make it more potent. All right, so let's get on with it and find out how you can become as powerful as any other magician. If you put your mind to it, you can. All right, so let's get started. This year, you have an opportunity to become a powerful manifester like you have never been before. But you have to understand how it works and how to use that energy and how to let it transform you to turn you into a powerful manifester. Okay? And that's, I'm going to be talking a lot about this in this series. So let me just talk about the techniques and that can be helpful for focusing your attention. And then we'll see if we want to talk more about like the theory behind all of this. Okay, so I'm going to take you over to my altar over there. Okay, so the altar itself becomes a focal point. And so that can be a tool that you can use to help you focus your energy and your attention and your intention and your resources. If you focus it all, you can that can help you with getting into alignment, to turning yourself into a powerful laser beam of manifestation. So the altar itself is very helpful for focusing. And then the things you put on the altar can also be helpful. I have a candle in the center because there's something called candle magic, which is the same thing. It's about getting into a meditative state so you can get all of that energy coming down through your chakras for the purpose of manifestation. Another technique that people often use is vision boarding, and a lot of times that's just a collage. But I did one where I just made a picture for myself. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, It's really about drawing on that creative energy. Because if you don't love what you're doing, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not having fun, fundamentally, you're not going to stick with it, because you'll be miserable. Why? Why would you do something that makes you miserable? So there has to be an element of fun and play. And that's the second chakra. The second chakra is all about fun and play, pleasure, creativity, where you're going to birth something, okay? So remember that when you're thinking about what you want to do, you're getting clear, you're getting focused, you're creating your intention, that it really, just doing the visualization and fantasy part of it should be fun. It should bring up a feeling of pleasure, excitement, happiness, okay? If you're not feeling that, then something's out of alignment. So anyway, I just made this fun little picture for focus. So one idea for focus can be to think of a word that will be your word for this year. And you don't have to come up with it immediately. You can play with it, but just see what bubbles up in your intuition. My word is stars. And I use some fun little smiley faces so you can see the S-T-A-R-S, stars. And what that word means to me is it's reminding of me of my relationship to the stars, to the cosmos, and all that that means to me. And living under the stars, this is my tent here and my camp chair in front of a campfire in the mountains. And this is also an image of mountain climbing, because that's another really powerful metaphor to think about this Saturnian Capricornian energy, because the symbol is the mountain goat and the mountain climb. So I put the mountain in there as well. See, that's me here, living under the stars. I love being out in nature, connecting with the cosmos. And that's my metaphorical mountain that I'm climbing this year, up to the stars, and bringing the stars down to me and my relationship with them. And then it also reminds me of the fact of my writing. And maybe I want to do some writing about all of this. In fact, I do want to write. I've been wanting to write a book about astrology for a long time. And I think this may be the year I actually do it. And so that's my writing there. That's the manuscript, and that's the book. So I'm visualizing a published book. And that's it. And I titled it Stars because it's about, I wanted it to be very personal, not just an astrology cookbook, but something very personal about my relationship with the stars. Okay, so, and then this over here is my YouTube astrology business. And so I kind of see them as related. You know, I'm living under the stars, my relationship with cosmos and nature, bringing that into inspiration for my writing, wanting to write a book about my relationship with stars and astrology. So it's not just a cookbook, but it's something very personal about what it means, not just to be an astrologer, but to have a relationship with the stars, with the cosmos, and with nature, because the Earth is a planet as well. And then how I bring that into my YouTube astrology business. And so I hope that they will all three support each other. Okay, so that's why I drew that picture, was to get that focus. So my word for the year is stars, and that reminds me of what what I want to manifest this year. Okay, so let me go back, see if I can show you some more things here. I've got some travel guides because I plan to travel to Arizona and Tucson and San Francisco. Should be out there by mid-February at the latest. And there are some other places I'll be traveling this year as well, which again is related to my desire to be under the stars, my desire to manifest an agent and a publisher. That's why I'm going to San Francisco for Writers Conference. And so that's, just to bring into focus the things that are important to me this year and what I want to manifest. And then I've got some of my writing here that I have submitted to contests because I obviously want to win. Why would I submit if I didn't want to win? And let's see, I've got a map here that I'll probably need, and some books. I chose a couple, Wild by Cheryl Strayed, where she writes about her hiking of the PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail, and Tracks by Robin Davidson when she crossed the Australian desert and wrote memoirs about it. And again, I thought about that because there are women who went into nature and experienced it very personally. And so, in other words, it doesn't matter. You don't have to hike across the outback. You don't have to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. But for empowerment, any human being who goes into nature and spends a significant amount of time there alone, you're going to be changed by that. And that's part of why I love living under the stars. And I want to write about that experience and how it transforms me. So that's why I put those two memoirs there as a reminder to me of what I'm really trying to do here, both with my own personal experience and with my writing. And also a couple books by Carlos Castaneda, Tales of Power and the Eagle's Gift, because he is also one of my spiritual teachers. I've studied his work, and I find it very powerful, and I want to explore that in more depth as well this year. As you can see, there's so much involved in successful moon magic. So we've talked about how to build an altar, and we've talked about focus. Focus is absolutely essential. You have to know what you want and set your intention and then go for it like there's no tomorrow. You need to have a burning desire, almost to the point of obsession, so that you can push out all of the distractions and give as much of yourself to this as you can, okay? That means your thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, your beliefs, everything. And if for some reason you're not manifesting, then there's something that's blocking you. And all the blocks are actually internal. They may appear to be external, but they're actually internal. And so we're going to talk about blocks as well. But for now, I'm going to bring this to a close, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.